Alright, today is February 10th, 2014. February 10th, 2014. I'm on my way to go pick up Gracie from her mom's house, take her to gymnastics tonight. And it's about 11 degrees outside. It's just still cold. Let's see here. This is the next part of things that I've done in my life. Have I ever gone over the... Okay, let's go with who Micah is, I guess. Micah, I met her in 2005. She came into the bar nightclub with a friend of hers. What was her name? I forgot her name. Okay, let's skip ahead to, let's see here, we did Italy, I did Greg, Fisher, Jeff from Why Not Waterbeds. Let's go with Jeff from Why Not Waterbeds Hot Tub 2, which is bedrooms, pools, and spas, or whatever it's called now. But anyway, it turns out that guy is not a nice guy at all. It turns out he's actually a druggie. When I came into Quincy and we opened the first bar and everything else, wanted to look at bars, this guy, he kept putting money into different things in the city and everything else, but no one ever really knew who he was. He's half blind. But anyway, the McLaughlins, Wayne McLaughlin, Fred McLaughlin, Jeff McLaughlin, all the McLaughlin brothers, they all told me to be very leery of this guy. So when we did our walkthroughs of the building, we couldn't figure out why on the outside the building looked larger than the inside. Well, it turns out Jeff went in and put up walls without them knowing about it because nobody was in there. All they were doing, they were paying for the building's already paid for. McLaughlin's Auto Center was around for a very long time. And so what happened was they needed to have, for insurance reasons, they needed to have a person in there for, for just to rent it so they keep the insurance going and everything. Well, what Jeff did was he was actually stealing from them. Since he had his water beds, then his pools and spas and stuff like that, well, he had these big water things that he used to fill up. Well, he needed storage for all of his stuff, and they gave him access to the garage and the garage only, which was about, I'd say about 4,000 square feet. Altogether, the building has about 16,000 square feet, but when we went in there and doing our measurements, there was something wrong. There was false walls in there. Yeah, over the years, Jeff been putting up walls so that nobody knew that he was actually using more of the building than what he was told he could use, and he actually broke in to the basement part and to the other portions, and nobody had a clue on it. We gutted the building, that's how we found out. But anyway, Jeff decided that he wanted to intimidate us instead of working with us. Well, when we found out that he was stealing all this space, we took it down. We told him to get his stuff out because he hadn't been paying for the space. He was getting it free. Well, then we found out they had a very, very large water bill. Well, for a building that's not being used at all, literally, except for storage, there's no reason why there should be a water bill at all, other than maybe your monthly dues or whatever else. Well, turns out good old Jeff, he was actually using their water. He had a system set up that was running underneath the alley and over top the alley in 3 different areas, where he was filling up all the pools and spas and filling up these huge water basins that he had to carry on back of trucks. And he was filling up everybody's water, and he was using the McLaughlin's water to do all this. So not only was he keeping all of his crap in there, well then because of all of his stuff, he wasn't properly maintaining it, how to go in there, so it got rodents on it, it got termites on it. And basically because of Jeff, and because of all the water in there, and because of his stuff, the place was being run down. And Wayne, who was a retired guy, whose wife was in a nursing home, and who he himself was having a hard time getting around, had no clue that this guy had been stealing from him for years. And you're talking about, if you added it up, we're talking probably a couple $1 million the guy owes him. For everywhere from basically stealing his building to putting in stuff to destroying parts of the building. The building was built in 1865, so you can only imagine how much damage this guy was doing to the inside of the building. It was an old hotel at one time. Anyway, we went in there, and Jeff basically let us know that he could stand there as long. The problem is he didn't have any rules or laws, and everything in there was ruining the place, and we had to get working. And we flat out, we gave him 60 days to get out. Well, after 60 days, he still didn't even touch one single thing. So we went in there, and we told him again, get out, you know, because we were starting to head back. You know, we got the front parts all done and everything else. We need to start working on the back. The floor was completely, we had to put in a whole new subfloor in there because, like I said, Jeff's stuff all ruined the floor and everything. Anyway, we get in there. And finally, Jeff was like taking a peek. He was going really, really slow. He was doing it on purpose. He let us know that we couldn't tell him what to do and all this other crap. So basically, gave him 90 days. Finally, we said, get your stuff out or it's going to be on the street. So we started taking his stuff, putting it outside. He was renting so he rented this big old semi-tractor trailer, the back part of it, the box car, whatever you want to call it. And he started putting all the stuff in there. And we gave him a time limit to get out. Well, that pissed him off because now all of a sudden then Wayne and all them were down his throat because they didn't know he was doing all that stuff. And we brought it to their attention. We showed him. Oh man, that just pissed off Jeff because, well, he was getting a free day out of these guys and he did not want anybody knowing what was going on. And so Jeff decided to try to harass us, calling the cops on us all the time. When we did our grand opening, he had free beer at Why Not Waterbeds for anybody that wanted to go in there to get free beer so he could tell them how bad we were because he just lost he did everything in his power but everybody realized that he was in the wrong. So, you know, he started trying to get his corrupt buddies and his drug buddies and everything else, and they kept trying to play games with us and screw us over, which never worked. And so we had a lot of different battles with that guy, and he was doing everything in his power to hurt us, and he's just a bad seed, and we proved it.